Welcome to the Model Car Hobby Headquarters Unpodcast with your host, Luca C. Now here he is, Luca C. Hello, my fellow car modelers. How are you doing today? We got a really cool podcast. My guest today is another fellow YouTuber. He has a channel called Kim's Custom Garage. It's Kim's, I am going to mess the name up. We worked on this. It's Søndergaard, right?
Yeah, Søndergaard.
Søndergaard. See, I did it perfect like 3-4 times before we got going, and now I'm messing it up. We knew that was going to happen. You know?
I think you did a very great job.
Oh,
there.
Thank you, bud. Yeah, I have been talking to Kim, wanting him to come on the show. I think it's pretty interesting. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, you got to. He is a builder of American hot rods, which being in Denmark, you wouldn't think it was that popular over there, but surprisingly it is. And I had to have him on because not only does he build American hot rods and muscle cars, his models for quite a long time have always caught my eye. And you know, Kim, one in particular I really, really love. I'll put it right there. Yeah, I love that wagon. That thing. That I remember the first time I saw it, because everybody knows my love for that kit. And that you basically took the entire box art concept of the car and shifted it over to the wagon. Later, I want to actually get into a little depth with that model particular with you. But he built some really cool hot rod models and like I said, he's got some really interesting his side of our hobby on his channel. So go check that out. And really, I always say this show is really about you. Get everybody to know about you. So first question I got to ask you is, what the heck got you into modeling? When did you get into modeling? What's your whole story on that? And then eventually how you came into YouTube.
Yeah, well, first I want to thank you for having me on your channel. That's a great honor.
Oh, absolutely. It's an honor to me, man. I like what you do, and it's cool that you came on.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I guess my story with modeling is quite a lot like a lot of other guys, at least. I started when I was probably about 6-7 years old, and I started building World War II airplanes. And when I went to the hobby shop to buy a new airplane, I always looked at the cars, but I thought at that time they were too advanced for me. I could not build like that. But
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but thankfully one day I took the chance and I bought the monogram, the black 55 Chevy street machine, the High Rider.
Oh yeah.
That was my very first car kit, and from that time forward, I didn't look back. So it's been cars and trucks and big rigs and chopper bikes ever since, actually. Yeah.
And back in those days, were there American cars on the street that you lusted after? Actually,
yes. I will say that I'm born in '63, and I start, to have a memory around, maybe mid-'60s, late '60s, and there were actually quite a few American cars on the street here in Denmark, also like taxi cabs and everything, and actually the very first American car that I remember, and that is it has been my favorite American car ever since. That was a '66 Chevelle, because our neighbors, they had some family who visited them sometimes, and they had a light blue 4-door '66 Chevelle with a 6-cylinder, and I was so much in love with that car.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and at the same time, the model kit cars that I grew up with were actually the monogram. The old striped boxes,
the white ones with stripes.
Yeah, and now you start to see the connection with the red wagon, because
I totally get it now. Yeah,
exactly, because
love that model.
Yeah, the red street rat Malibu. That was that is probably my favorite monogram kit. I simply love that kit. Everything about it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's extremely well executed, and I have some questions about that we'll get to later. But let you go on with your story.
Yeah, well, I started to build, and I built a lot, and it just like I think most other guys, at one point you find out that those girls are maybe not that annoying anyway. You start here in Denmark when you're 15. At that time, you could drive a moped, and that was, of course, interesting. Suddenly, you could drive something with an engine, and 3 years later, when I turned 18, I got a driver's license, and I actually got my first American car when I was 16.
Oh, really? You jumped right into it, huh?
Yeah, so I was not allowed to drive it myself, but then I just had to take the passenger seat and let a friend drive.
What was that car?
My first one was a 68 Falcon with a 2. That was actually a nice car.
Oh, I am a huge fan. I owned a 69 once for 3 days and really regretted selling it. Someone offered me double the money that I bought it for, and I did it, and I was like, that's a cool one. It's almost a Mustang.
Almost, yeah. I like them better than Mustangs, actually.
I do too. I actually do too. I would rather have one. I really wanted one real bad, and finally bought one. And some guy said, "Hey, would you sell it to me for this?" And it's like, "Hey, double the money." And all of a sudden, the dollar signs took over my and regretted it. Yeah. Things just evolved from that moment, and I actually had a lot of American cars. 64, 65, and 67 Buick Skylark. I really loved the 67 Coupe. Oh,
that was probably my number one favorite of the cars I owned. I had a 65 Galaxy with a 352, Gran Torino, El Camino. I had a lot of American cars, but
holy
it started
cow,
to get too expensive, And that's when I actually returned to building models, because that has been a little, turned down for a while, and so when I couldn't afford the real cars anymore, American cars, I went back to the small ones, and I've been building ever since.
Oh, that's it. So while you were driving the real ones, you took a break from it. Yeah, that's a common thing, even in the States here, because quite honestly, it's expensive for us now to have old classic cars. I would have multiples, and those days are long gone. I'm like, what I have right now, I'm just holding on to it, because even cars into the 80s now are starting to go through crazy price hikes. So I can relate to that. So it is bringing more guys. I hear this, that they're building models because they love cars, but they can't they can't buy them anymore. That would make total sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you have to do what you can afford, and here in Denmark, the prices on the full scale cars, it's crazy sometimes.
Oh, I can imagine. It's got to be. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's nuts here. It's got to be absolutely bonkers stupid over there.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
But I know that where I know a lot of people are probably surprised to hear that. They didn't think there was that much American car culture in that part of Europe. But that's something I always knew about from way back when, in the early 90s. Hot Rod Magazine started this whole racing series called Fastest Street Car Shootout, and they didn't expect it to blow up like it did. It became its own racing series under the National Muscle Car Association, and it had a pretty good run. And about the second or third year, there were people from Sweden, Denmark, Norway. They were shipping their tubbed out American muscle cars to race in the Pro Street division. Like, there was a pretty big handful of these guys. I was like, that's when I first found out, wow, American cars are big in Europe. And as time goes on, I heard a lot about that, someone like you talking about it was actually a pretty big thing. And I've seen some videos on some guys like there was a hot rod shop in northern Germany. So it's pretty big culture there.
It is. And it still is. you know, probably not so many cars on the street. Again, according to the prices, a lot of a lot of guys can't afford it anymore. But it is still big, and the quality of the hot rods we build here in Denmark and the race cars and like that is just it's mind blowing actually. I can say that here in at this year in August we have the Viking Run, an American car meeting, and it's every second year. And now, of course, it's been a couple of years ago because of the corona and everything. But if I remember correct, I think that is the biggest car meet in Europe, at least one of the biggest.
I think I've heard of it.
Okay.
Viking Run? I've heard of it.
Okay, then it's big, I guess.
Yeah.
If you hear about it.
Yeah. I tell you what, that you know, our media here, they love it when there's big car culture in other countries. They, especially the guys from Hot Rod Motor Trend and all that stuff, they love to cover that stuff. So yeah, they let us be aware of it.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
I will go there and film a lot and put on my channel, you know. So so you get to see some action.
How about as far as the hobby, like your end of the hobby of model cars? Not only, I know in Europe there's pretty heavy model car hobbyists, but as far as guys that are really into the American hot rods, like what you do you have a club you go to, or shows you go to, or you got other model car buddies up in your neck of the woods?
Yes, but not many. We are not many here in Denmark who build models like this. Of course, that means that most of us know each other, you know, and we know a lot of the Swedish and Norwegian guys, and even the Finnish guys who build also. And we don't have so many model shows. Not strictly for car models, at least, but we go to a couple of shows, one in Sweden and one in Norway every year. And actually this year, on October the 1st, I'm arranging or planning a show together with some friends. So that would be the first, I will say, American car model meeting in Denmark, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So we hope it will do well. We have to see.
Yeah, and you've got some. You're probably, you know, I believe you're the only model car YouTuber in that part of Europe, aren't you? That's doing this type of. I think there's like guys who are doing, you know. I know there's a lot of guys that do the BMW race cars and European cars, but there's a lot of, as I am a fan of that stuff too. But you being you just have a whole American hot rodder shtick all around. You know, your whole show is really, having it called Kim's Custom Garage is just right up that alley. So you're really a unique thing over there.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think that's what, you know, I think that's what makes your channel pretty cool. And more of the guys over here need to find out about you. But
thank you.
So it's cool. You got a little group and you got one going you know, in such a kind of, I guess it would be remote for that interest, you know, remote.
Yeah, area. That's true. But to be fair, I have to say that model kit building in general are having some tough times here in Denmark. It's not just car modeling or American car modeling, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, model kits building in general. And I think that as far as I know, we don't have any real model shop in Denmark. I knew a guy in Copenhagen who had a model shop, but about a year and a half ago, he got sick and his shop closed temporarily. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. So it closed permanently, you know. And to my knowledge, that was actually the last, I will say, real hobby shop in Denmark. We have some. There's a small shop for model train guys.
Yeah.
They have a little section with model kits, you know, but the good old model shops with a lot of plastic models and like that, they're gone.
No, that's too bad to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was touch and go at one time here, but there was with the COVID coming and the lockdowns and everything, it blew the hobby up. But of course, we have a heck of a lot more people, and there's a more chance of growing that interest here. Yeah. So I you know, I figure you have, I mean, you're kind of by yourself there, so it's cool that you're able to reach out to the world with your channel. Was that why you kind of segued into getting onto YouTube?
Well, it's actually difficult for me to say exactly what it was that started me on YouTube, other than of course I saw some videos and I thought to myself, that could be fun, try and make some videos, you know? and then I just started, you know. So I don't think there was one particular thing that got me going. It was just the thought about it could be fun to try that.
Yeah.
Very often I'm like that, you know. If I see something that I think is fun or interesting, I just dive right into it, you know, without thinking or planning. And
that's usually the best way, because if you think and plan it ends up being a train wreck.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You just gotta let it roll.
Yeah. So so that's why I started, you know, and of course it's always nice to get some feedback and see that people like what you're doing, you know, and I have been very fortunate, I think, and I really appreciate it. I have about 1,400 subscribers now.
Nice, that's pretty good.
I never thought I would go up to that number, so I really appreciate it. I'm really happy, you know. So it's nice. You
have a neat perspective of our hobby being over on the other side of the planet, and in a very interesting part of the world where there is a culture there that a lot of people didn't realize, like we talked about. And who knows, you know, it could be something with you getting out there and getting known. It might, and you starting a rumble out there, your little group could possibly grow, because like what happens here in the States that I found over the years is the growth of the hobby has been guys our age, or like in their 40s to their 60s, that were into cars. But again, cars are just the real things are just too darn expensive, or they've built their hot rods. The kids are grown and they need an outlet for their love of the automobile. And that's where model cars are perfect. And I see a lot of new people into the hobby because of that. And that could very well happen out there, because there definitely is a big car interest. And I think that is the area I have always felt to tap into to grow this section of the model building hobby. Yeah,
but I think you're dead on, because as you mentioned also the COVID, it made a lot of people start building, you know. Some people that have built many years ago and didn't build since they were almost kids, you know, but also new builders. I would just say that here in Denmark, I don't know if it's quite the same in Sweden and Norway, but in Denmark at least, I think it's a lot like if you mention model kit building for anybody, they think armor and warplanes, you know.
Well, I know that is big over there.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes if I talk to somebody and I mention that I'm a model builder, and they say, "Oh, really?" You know, and then if I mention some of the cars I built, what? You know?
But
I thought you built tanks.
Yeah, you didn't build a Panzer. Well, you know, like Andy and who he's linked with over there in Europe, over there in Germany with MBK. Pretty much the European end of Andy's hobby headquarters it's a huge place, and they have a big summer show there at MBK. I don't believe, I mean, he carries like a little sprinkling of model car kits, but his thing is it's armors and then some planes, and that is the big thing in Europe.
Yeah, that's true. When I heard that he was going to open in Germany, I thought, yes, finally we can find some of the new kits and you know, a lot of stuff that you have over there. But yeah, I'm still waiting for.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. Having in the USA version of Andy's Hobby Headquarters. Andy says, you know, model car is 20% of his business, and so it was kind of lacking a bit at first when they started the online thing before, and Andy was really, we got to get cars. So hopefully that starts leaking over to the European market. In Europe, it probably isn't 20% of their business there, but that's your job to grow it then, huh?
Yeah.
If that interest is there, they'll carry it.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say that they will not get too much competition, I think, because
no,
it is not easy to find kits, not only in Denmark, but actually in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
I can give you an example, because a guy, he offered me some I could earn some money doing some work for him, but instead of money, he would pay me with model kits.
Mm-hmm.
I could choose some new model kits. And I wanted the AMT Chevy Impala Fire Chief, which, as far as I know, is quite a common kit over in the States. But that was difficult to find in Europe, I can say.
No kidding.
The few places I knew online, they didn't have it. So, but finally I found one place in Europe that had that kit. So that just goes to show that they're difficult to find here. So if Andy, if he decides to do more into model cars here, there's not much competition. I can say that.
Yeah, well, you'll have it. You have his ear right now.
Yeah,
and that's where I find when I started seeing how you were involved in getting in and growing in YouTube. I think this was something that it's something really cool for the hobby, getting your perspective. And us guys here, we kind of take we take the AMT firefighter for granted. It's just such a common kit. It's almost a throwaway. You know, you buy it for a couple, even for parts, or do a smash up derby car. You know, who cares? But look at how something you wanted and how hard it was to find, and it was a recently released kit. So, you know, we got it really good over here, everybody. Look what Kim's going through, and you know, you can get that growing number of guys involved into the hobby over there that love the old cars. You know, that could change it. That could really, because that's it. You know, the growth of the hobby through more people getting involved with it has changed things over here. So I mean, you could definitely do it, and that's where I think you might not have known what your calling was. You just wanted to do YouTube for fun, but you could really do something very important for the hobby in your part of the world.
Yeah, that's true.
You're unique over there.
Yeah, you can say that. But actually, there are already a couple of guys who told me that they watched my channel here, Danish guys, you know, and
excellent,
and that actually made them start building again. So that's a big honor, of course, that you can get people to get back into building models. That's something I never expected that
isn't that is great. I get those comments all the time, more so in the past couple of years than I did in the early days, where I started building because I found your channel and other YouTube, you know, it was YouTube channels like ours that got these people to realize how cool this hobby was, and they built one model, and then all of a sudden they got a wall of kits like that. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead, and we're going to take a little station identification here, and I got some more things I want to talk about with you. I want to talk about that really cool Chevelle model you built. We'll be right back. You're watching the Lucas C channel on YouTube. Well, welcome back, everybody, and we are going to continue on. And there is something I want to talk about with you, Kim, is that model.
Yeah.
That thing is such an inspiration to me. I want to build one. I really want to build one. I got a couple ideas in my head. Yeah. I think that thing is so cool. And you know, and I love wagons. So okay, I got the boss on my back here.
Yeah.
I love station wagons. And of course I got a couple of those. There we go. The hat change. Thanks everybody. There you see I shake my head. So you basically, I mean, it looks like you basically smashed the two kits together. You use a lot of the old monogram flip nose with that newer Revell chevelle. And the thing is did you run into any issues with the fact that the wagon is 25th scale and the chevelle is 24th?
Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. But I actually want to say that it went a lot more smooth than I actually thought it would.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It
looks like it's a kit.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very nice thing to hear, because
when you can't see the work that's done and it looks like that it came right out of the box, that is a compliment.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of guys who ask me where did I get that kit. They would like to have that also. So of course, but actually, I will say that the only thing that was a little bit tricky was to actually mount the front and rear suspensions. Yeah, especially the rear suspension. It needed a little work like that.
Yeah, because I saw you did use that, which I love that suspension. You used you were styling it out of the red one, which has some different. It has the blower, it has a different rear end, and a couple other things. And I saw you had that Oldsmobile rear end in the back of it.
Yeah, that's
definitely true. Gave it. It just gave it that tip of the hat to that red kit. You kept it like that, which was, to me, was really, really cool.
Yeah, that was my idea to simply change the red street red into a wagon.
Yeah, and like I said, you hit it. You nailed it perfectly. I remember the first time I saw that thing. I was a double take thing. I got pictures of it on my computer. I think that thing is so cool. And then later on, I discovered that because I know I had said thing, it was probably on Facebook or something, and you said thanks. I said I love that thing and all that, and then I put it together that it was you, because watching your YouTube video, you have it in the start of your videos.
Yeah, that's true. I actually did a video about it also, a video about bashing. So
I saw that video. That thing is so cool. I want to build one, and it got me. I was like, I was actually thinking about doing exactly what you did, completely rip you off and do the black one. But now I'm thinking about doing this new version and doing it white with the blue, because I really love this new version.
Yeah, that's true.
But giving it all the flavor of the black kit. So I'll use
I'm actually working with a kit bash with the black one. Yeah. And it's not going to be a wagon.
Oh, well, we'll wait and see. We'll let you keep that a secret. I'm looking forward to whatever. It's bound to be extremely cool, because
I hope.
that's awesome. I love that idea. As much as I got to get back onto mine, that kit has become such a part of the DNA of my channel. I got to get back on it. I got a couple of plans, probably for 23. I'm going to finish the adventure in building a model car with that one, and I want to get on to. I got two other ideas I have to do with the new version, because I love those new graphics. I love white and blue race cars. So
they're cool. The only thing I think is a shame about the new one is that they didn't include the slot mags.
Yeah, and there's a couple other parts they didn't include that was in the red one, and it would have been really cool to do it. Like a lot of people said, to do a true 2-in-1 is to have everything in there. It probably was expensive, but if they could have put everything that came in the red kit that was different from the black kit. The nice thing is, like, you have that Oldsmobile rear end cover, but you don't have the rear end. But it's cool that it's got the interior, the seats, the roll bar from the red one, which I never had the red one before. Always wanted to get it, and I always had tons of the black one. That was always my preferred one. But you don't have. But so it's cool that it got the seats and roll bar, but you know, you don't have the blower and you don't have those slotted mags, which I really would like to have the slotted mags.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But I do. It's cool. I love that hood scoop in the red one better.
Oh, I was just about to mention it. Yeah, because that's my absolute favorite hood scoop. That one.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah,
Felix want me to adjust the hat. It's just not going to get any smaller for your little head, guy.
No.
It's not having it, is he? But yeah, that thing is
your sewing machine.
Yeah, that thing is so cool. Here, try that.
No.
It's never happy.
No.
Just a neat concept. I would have never thought about that when I first saw it. Like I said, I love station wagons. Owned a lot of station wagons. I would always buy those things up.
Yeah.
Real cars and
but that's also what actually made me do it, because I already explained what that model, the red one, is to me, and I also love wagons. I get all the wagons I can get. Yeah.
So, I wish they would do more.
Baba.
Yeah. I agree with that. There's not enough wagons. I actually remember one from back in the 80s when we went to Copenhagen every Friday and Saturday evening for cruising.
Oh.
There was I think it was a mid-60s Olds of some kind, wagon. Black, and then it said surprise on the rear door, I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Max side pipes, everything. Oh, that was cool. I love that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it caught fire one day. So.
Oh, heartbreak.
Yeah.
Well, I had a probably about 10 years ago. I bought a. Sorry, everyone. I just noticed that. That's interesting. So let me try to get back in. That can derail you. So about 10 years ago, I bought a 72 Chevelle wagon, which I always loved Chevelle wagons, and getting that was something I always wanted. And I did a lot of cool things with it. Kind of gave it that SS flair to it with a hood and Corvette rally wheels. I had a lot of fun with that car. And in that time, I met up with a guy who had a 65 Oldsmobile wagon. He was building up, and man, that wagon was, and he was going, so we were always like kind of going for the same look, where I was doing the SS Chevelle look. He was doing a 442 look with his, and it was he was going way farther than I was. His was flat out. He put bucket seats, the center console. I mean, he was going all for it. That car was so cool. I love the 65 Cutlass too. Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
My first car was a 69 Cutlass. And so and I owned a couple of, I owned a 64 Cutlass wagon, not a Vista Cruiser. It was actually just a Cutlass wagon, flat roof, no window on top. And those are actually shorter wheelbase. The Chevelles and all the other ones compared to the Vista Cruiser was a little bit longer, and it had that window up top. And I had a 69 Vista Cruiser at one time. But those are the only Oldsmobiles I ever had, but Oldsmobiles are pretty dear to my heart because of my first car. My dad bought it brand new. I remember him bringing it home, and then I got it when I was in high school and had it for in the 80s. Yeah. But the Oldsmobiles are super cool looking like that.
I like them too. I would say 64 and up to 67 442s.
Yeah, I really big boxy ones. Yeah, I know. That's just another model. I don't know. Have you gotten a hold of that 64 Oldsmobile yet?
No, I cannot find it here in Europe.
Oh, you can't?
I can order it from the States, but it is very expensive here in Denmark.
Oh,
They they put import taxes on all stuff from outside the European Union. So
yeah, I have dealt with that. Years ago I had a friend of mine in Germany who did some when I had my resin casting business, and he did some mastering for me. And so I was sending him, he loved Dale Earnhardt. So I would pay him with Dale Earnhardt memorabilia because he couldn't get it there. Yeah. So, I remember that was the trick part. We had to do a little, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, because
try to get through that import stuff.
Yeah, you can do that, but
sent it all as a gift.
Yeah, but the problem is, of course, if you buy from an online company,
they can't do that.
No way. I know of one company that when they send to Europe, they halve the price on the package. So they reduce it with 50%. So they do a little thing about it. That's nice, but mostly, of course, you cannot expect them to send it as a gift or something like that, because then we don't have to pay.
Yeah.
So, but I really, one day I have to order that 64.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we can figure out how to get you one.
Oh,
I think nice. Andy might have one in his store, because I don't know if the car is still being put out anymore, but I'm sure they're around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like right up your alley. I'm getting back on mine. I had that little thing I started at the end of the year last year, and I'm having a blast with it. I love the looks of that car, and just the way out, the direction I was going with, I was really into it, really enjoying it. I'm getting ready to put some paint on it finally. And I just am having, and me, like I showed in those videos, I'm using the screw-in I'm fine with that, but it's still a great. I've seen guys kit bash with other kits that worked out great, but I just wanted to look. Didn't want to get that far into it. I just wanted to have that look sitting there, that stance.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. Sometimes, as I mentioned in several of my videos, also I build the way I want to. I build for me, and some of my models, if you turn it around and look at the undercarriage, details are missing, maybe like that. But it's okay for me, because, like you say, as long as it looks good when it stands on the shelf. Yeah,
that's prime objective. I've always said you can't. Every model can't be that full detailed show on. There's some guys that can do that. I can't do it.
Yeah, me too.
It's once in a while, but I have to. That back in the day, it's like I felt I had to detail every model I built, and I just discovered I wasn't getting anything done. And now sometimes, like even the little bit that I did with this 64 Olds, I was like just I wanted it to look a little better under the hood. So I did some scratch building and changing and all that shit. Stuff. I got it figured out, and now I'm moving forward. But I was like, oh, is this going to kill the model for me? Sometimes you just gotta like not worry about that stuff and make it simple and get a beautiful model done and concentrate on that stance. Because 99.9% of the time when people look at that's a cool model, it's just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually, I think that happens a lot of times, that guys, they want to build, they cannot build up to their own expectation. They want to be better and better. And suddenly you have a problem because you cannot live up to your own expectations. And that's why I think the most important is build for you, build what you like, build what you want to look at.
Yes.
I don't expect any of my models to win prizes. I know they don't want. They cannot win prizes at model shows, and that's okay, because I like them. So
it's exactly. It's like it's just not. I go to shows. I just don't. I preach the heck out of this. It's fun winning, and I do build. I'll pick a model out, and I want to compete, and I try to go for a level, but. Really, my thing, I could care less if I win or not. I go to the shows to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
I take every model I build, I take to shows. I don't believe in, like some guys say, I just built this and it's just a shelf model. I'm never going to take it to a show. Why not? It's your art. I like to show off everything I got.
Yeah.
And your simple build that you don't think is worthy to go to a model show could possibly influence and, someone else and inspire someone else to go, that's pretty neat. I want to build one of those. Just like, your Chevelle Wagon inspires the heck out of me. And I know it inspires a bunch of other guys. Probably going to see more of those pop up.
Yeah.
It's that's what it's about is who cares, it's just the icing. Even some of the best builders that I know that they go to a show and they're going to win because they just build at that level and it works for them. But they're of the same opinion. Those guys are like, if I didn't bring a trophy home, I wouldn't care. I had a good time.
Yeah.
And that's the right attitude to have.
Yeah, I think so. And you have to remember also, for some guys to be able to win the prizes at model shows, you have to have a lot of models that cannot win. You have to have some models they can beat,
Yeah, okay, that's where we come in.
Yeah, So,
I'm fine with that. I can I could be the jam car.
I'm not one of the generals. I'm just a foot soldier. So
yeah.
Totally. It's okay because the fun part is meeting your friends. Looking at all the models, even though maybe they're not perfect. So what? Mine are not perfect also.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's the whole basis of our model car club here. And it's just bring a model and put it on the table. Nobody cares. We all look at everybody's model and get inspired, and everybody builds at different levels. And it's just like a good camaraderie. We have a common interest. It's model cars, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the end of it. But definitely
couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah. So do you have any cool upcoming plans? Or I know you're wrapping up. You did this tribute build and some other guys jumped in with you of the 32 Ford.
Yeah.
And a BG kind of dropped out and he's lately been working like heck on his now just because it was turning out so cool. His is looking really cool. But that was pretty cool. You tipping your hat to the 32. I was like, I didn't think about it till too late. And it's like, wow, I didn't put a 32 Ford in my lineup for my 2022 builds.
Yeah, that's still time.
But that was turning out pretty cool. But you got any other things like that you're going to be doing? You don't have to tell the secret, but just
but actually I do because a couple of guys asked me to do a kind of a body build or tribute build again, and
cool.
And I will do that, but I have to figure out first which model to or which style, what are we going to build,
Yeah.
So it might be, I don't know. I've been thinking. I don't think I'm not sure, but it might be a show rod, and I know that's not so much for you.
Yeah. But hey, I don't know. You ever watch Chuck's Hobby Spot? You see his show rod he just built?
I didn't see his latest couple of videos, I think.
Yeah, he built what is that? The little coffin. He did a spin on it that I was like, wow! I never thought that model would be have any interesting value whatsoever. he did something cool with it, but yeah. Show rods aren't my gag, but that's pretty. I appreciate the love for those. The model companies keep churning those back out, and they sell like crazy. They're popular.
Yeah, that's true.
Those old Tom Taylor and all that stuff.
But then again, I saw that round 2 they just announced the Barry's T-Boggy.
I saw that.
And the rickshaw, and I cannot help thinking how come they reissue those, because I think they are not the most popular show rods.
No, I thought the same thing. I was kind of there are better show rods. There's more popular show rods, and they've got the molds to some crazy ones. But those guys are pretty smart. They sell everything they do. They sell, and it's frustrating to us from who were building years ago that when a kit would come out, these companies back in the early days would churn out thousands and thousands of them. The business model in kit manufacturing now is just put out 5,000, and when they're gone, we're gone type of thing. And maybe we'll put it out again in a few years later. But a lot of the companies, and it's getting people sell. It's like, it's amazing how a kit will come out and it's like, oh, this new kit. And then in a couple months, it's vaporized. They're gone. They're all sold.
Yeah.
I can see it it sucks for us, but I can see it from business standpoint is you create a demand and everybody knows, if you don't get it now, then you don't get it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's double, triple, quadrupled for you because it's hard to get them.
Yeah, it's hard to get them, and it's no secret that financially I also have my problems now because of the war in Ukraine. They made everything much more expensive here in Europe. I guess maybe around most of the world. We're feeling it bad too, but that ball was rolling already. But the Ukraine thing is that's tough for everybody. Yeah, it is. It is.
I imagine it's really affecting your part of the world.
Yeah, it is. Actually, right now, all the fun stuff is cut away because there's no money for that. Gasoline for the car so I can go to work, and food. That's what. And the monthly bills. So. Mm-hmm. So it's a little hard, and then as you mentioned, also because it's hard in general to get hold on model kits over here. So that you're absolutely right. You have to be very, very fast to get some of the new kits at least because suddenly they're just gone.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
so do you have, or have you built, or have any interest in doing any European cars? I don't know how if that's just as equally hard to get a hold of, because most of the European kits are made by Fujimi and Tamiya. And you got a great for race cars. You got a company not far from you, Bell Kits.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's actually very little niche model.
Yeah. I do have some European car kits. And actually quite a wide variety. I have some French Renault 4 GTL.
Oh yeah.
And I have the Citroën Wagon Type H.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
And I have some. I have an old Toyota Celica. I really like that one. I have a couple of BMW race cars.
Oh yeah.
I do have some European kits. I didn't build so many yet. I built a couple of Volkswagens because that's also very big here in Denmark.
Oh yeah, Volkswagens almost don't even have borders. They're just like they're a world. That's a world car.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yes, I do have some European kits, and I did build a couple, but. It is the American kits that's
what juices you, obviously. Yeah. It's interesting to find out that you spent a lot of time owning some American cars and had fun with the culture like that. I wondered about that. That's why I wanted to have you on. That's very interesting. It's neat getting your whole take on everything from over there on our hobby. But you did that one. Stash video one time answering my thing and showed your stuff and what your favorite box art was. And you got a pretty good collection of what we call domestic kits.
Yeah.
Big import to you, but
I had my own little hobby shop back in the 90s.
Oh really?
Yeah, for only for 2.5 years, because already then the model building was starting to go down here in Denmark. So so I had to close the shop again. But that made me that's really started my collection, of course.
Oh, no kidding! So you were actually a hobby shop owner.
Yeah, I was once. So actually, the collection I have now. Is down to the ones I don't want to sell because I actually sold a lot of model kits. I think I had around double as many as I have now. But due to the financial times. I sold a lot of models.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting there where I don't have any more I want to sell, So I know I can't build any all of them. I have to be 200, 250 years old.
Yeah, I know. It all comes down to a couple things. The way I look at it, it's kind of something that you can liquidate if you need cash. But my thing is why I keep buying and having and hoarding is you get an idea, and I have that kit.
Yeah.
And the idea popped in your head where I don't have to run out and go hunt it down or get on eBay and try to pay exorbitant prices. I know what I'm going to build later on. I'll probably have an interest. I might as well pick one or two of these up, have them. I can always sell them type thing. That's always been my thing. And like you, when my collection really sprouted and took off was I spent a little time in the late 80s, early 90s working at a really big hobby shop here in town and just had the opportunity to buy everything. I got a deal on them, and kits were really cheap back then, and I made good money. So, and I'm, a young single man. I had no kids. So what the heck? I'm buying up a bunch of model kits, and man, my collection's boomed at that time period.
How many kids do you have?
I don't know. I got to sit down and count them, because like what you see here goes across my room all the way to about right there.
Yeah.
And then I have this walk-in closet. I've been doing it for many, many years, a couple of decades. So it's, and I'll sit there, I need to make some room. So I'll sell off to make room sometimes. And I went to one swap meet once, and I had 6 or 8 cases of models to sell, and I wasn't going to come home with any of them, because at the end I offered a dealer the rest of them. I didn't want to come home with them. I wanted them. It wasn't about the money. It was about, I needed the room. And I come back and I go, that didn't make a dent. I still don't have any room.
I know that. But at least I want to say all of my kids are going to be built, or at least that's my idea. I don't have any kids that I don't want to build. A couple of years ago, for instance, I was so lucky that I found a Johan Ronin Rambulance here in Denmark.
Oh yeah.
And I never thought I was going to see that kit for real, and especially not in Denmark, and especially not one that was still sealed.
Wow. Yeah.
But I broke the seal right away because I'm going to build it.
Yeah. So, and that's cool. Did you do it? I know that thing showed up in one of your videos. Did you do a video where you broke the seal?
Oh, I don't remember if that was before I started doing YouTube videos, but I did do
a glorious
unboxing.
What a glorious video that would be, to bust a seal on a Johan kit. You would have people gasp, and you'd have people go, yes!
All the guys cry out there.
Love that. I unfortunately don't have a sealed Johan kit. I would be happy to open it up on video. That would be a ball. Just to hear the cringes.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might have one. What is it? The 74, 75 Oldsmobile. Remember that one? I have 2 of that. I think one of them is sealed, but of course, that's not the most rare Johan kit anyway. Yeah, there are some real rare. That ambulance is one. That ambulance, and it's one that's pretty sought after. So, it is. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Well, Kim, I gotta say, this was so interesting. I'm so glad you came on. Probably could have more hours of talking. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to have you back on the Unpodcast with a group of us one of these days to talk model stuff. Now that everybody knows who you are, you guys go check out Kim's channel. There's the logo right there. Look for that. I will have a link at the end of this video to his channel, and also in the description. go check him out. Give him a thumbs up and a sub. And he's got some interesting stuff. Really, really cool model builder. And, you know, he has great stuff to tell you about. So good content. And I had a blast talking with you.
Me too. Thank you very much, Luke.
Yeah, definitely.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So
we have to see if I can overcome my fear of flying one day. Maybe I can go to the States. That's my big dream. But
if you could, that'd be a heck of a foot. Wow, that would be so cool for you to end up at one of the. We'll talk later about that. What show you would pick to come to? There's a lot of good ones. We'll have to definitely plan it out where a whole bunch of us will show up to that one.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That would be very cool. But well, you got to know. There's something that I ask of the guests at the end of the program for them to do. All right.
Keep cutting that styrene, gluing the fingers together. Is that the one you use?
That is the one. Is that yours? Or do you want to give it a shot? You want to take off with that?
Oh, yeah. Man.
We'll let you really do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Keep cutting that styrene and gluing those fingers together. And remember, model kits are fun.
That's right. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch, man. This was a blast, and we will see you guys in the next one up. No problem, man. We'll have you back on again too. It's a lot of fun, and
thank you.
We will see you all in the next video. And here's the producers.